yo, 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 ladies and gentlemen, we've come to a settlement to shade the ground more than the herd of elephants. Boost your adrenaline, sick is a medicine, cause the groovy tune is the only thing that's relevant. Solidified, electrified like Edison, a rhythmatic explosion that you can't edit in. Walk up in the spot as the whispering is him again, anticipated to hear the first couple sentences. This is a public announcement. It's been how many months? Well, I'm counting since I gave you smooth that major groove. So it's another banger everyone can jam to, but warning, that some just can't sustain this. By the way, I'm going harder than the pavement. There's a secret for the sequence, ain't it? Dance till you start faking. I can't explain it. You can't explain it? Nah, I'm just playing. Hit your two-step, whatever you please. When the wrong energy, you gon' have to leave. Cause we just wanna have a good time. Don't worry about your feet hurting, cause you'll be fine. Why? We getting funky, man. Getting what? We getting funky, man. Getting what? We getting funky, man. Getting what? We getting funky, man. Getting. Hold up. Lost in the sauce, well, follow me. I'm getting funky on the mic like an old batch of collard greens. Obviously, it's human nature. The funk with the bass bumping keeps me sharper than a taper. I've been this way since yay made, we major. Grabbing a piece of pieces, strolling through shot skyscrapers. Extra, read the paper. Now and later, my over will always bring the flavor. I'm a bad mother. Shut your mouth. Don't get intimidated just because I'm in the house. If you put this on repeat, you'll pass out. Cause your legs will shut down like they just tapped out. If I do this, I'ma do it right. The habit recite fabulous ad-libs when he say nice. But I'm done, man. Peace, good night. Yo.
We sure will. What's up, everybody? You listening to The Voice. Come on, dig me now. Cameron Davis here on the Cam Davis Podcast, episode 6, and I'm joined by a special guest, my guy, Coach Reggie Rusk. How you doing, man?
Man, I'm blessed. Appreciate you inviting me on.
Yes, sir, man. He reached out to me when I first came and decided to do the podcast. He said, "Man, have me on for sure." I said, "That's raps. Like that's already in the books." You know what I'm saying? Like, I love what he do. Sports, motivation, everything. That's right up my alley, man. And you somebody I really look up to and I admire. All the things that you do in the community, what you've done for me, high school, middle school, training me, and even the motivation that you give on a daily basis, man. I really appreciate that. You're one of the handful of guys I look up to, and I appreciate in everything you do.
Well, I definitely appreciate that. You know, at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. It's about community. It's about, you know, us being the leaders and making sure that the younger or next generation is doing well. So, you know, all you guys, man, I'm proud of the men that you all have become, and, you know, I'm just happy to be here, happy to, you know, lend my 2 cents to your podcast.
More than 2 cents, Coach, man. But let's go ahead and get into the show, man. Let's tell the people about you, you know what I'm saying? Let's tell the people about your programs. You part of multiple different things. You played in the NFL, college football, in the SEC. Let's tell people about you and the things. I see you repping the Mamba gear. Tell them about that.
No doubt. You know, it's Mamba is one of the brands that I have. It's my youth development program for high school, middle school, and high school football players. Being a retired NFL guy, I know what head trauma does later on in our lives. I'm hitting that age, so I wanted to create something where I can put kids on a platform where they can get themselves recruited, maybe play on a platform where the college coaches will be able to see them, and also bring them in the mentorship, like what you guys went through. You know, over the years, I realized that you guys came in talking about working out and sports and everything, but at the end of the day, it was the talks, it was the camaraderie, the things that we did after the sessions was the most meaningful and the most powerful thing that we could have done. So me creating these platforms allows me to continue to give back and bring kids in through the sports.
I love it. I love Team Mamba. I'm glad to be a part of it this year. I'm helping coach. We got an 18U, 15U, And
we're gonna do probably 12 or 10U as well. So we're trying to get the young kids involved as well.
Man, I'm telling you, a person that really look out for the community and help out is Coach Reggie Rusk. Hey, if you athletes out there, if you want to come on out, hey, come on out. We got one more tryout Sunday, January 9th. So let's go ahead, come on out and show us your skills and everything. But mention you play college football, SEC. We got some games. National championship coming up, Georgia versus Alabama. What's up? I know it's hard. You play for Kentucky. You got to choose somebody. Who you got?
Hey, man, it's still repping the SEC, man. We're the most dominant conference in football, hands down, no question. That's going to be a good one. I think Alabama is just, off air, we were just talking about powerhouses and what goes into being a powerhouse organization. Yep. And Alabama is one of those organizations with the leadership and the buy-in, the athletes
culture.
Buy-in. It's a culture.
Yeah.
So it's going to be hard to bet against Alabama, no matter who they play. Until somebody can show me that they can go into the Lions' den and defeat the Lion, man, I'm taking Alabama.
Hey, I say there's two things you don't do in sports. You don't bet against Bill Belichick, and you don't bet against Nick Saban. I mean, you could try if you want to. You may win some money because the Patriots, they good, but they gonna make the playoffs. But you may, you know what I'm saying. But two things you don't do. I would recommend you don't do this. Don't bet against Bill Belichick and Nick Saban. I think Alabama is gonna get it. I think the Crimson Tide is gonna get it done. I say if the over under is at 13.5, I say they go over. I say they beat them by more than 13.5.
I think so, man. It's like I said, those guys, that's NFLU, right? Mm-hmm. And those guys go in knowing that, I come here, I put in my time, I'm going to go to the NFL.
Yep.
That's the buy-in. That's what helps create the culture. So it's hard to bet against those guys, man. It's just what they bring to the table with Nick Saban, the athletes that he have, and then when you get disciplined and you have a culture with great athletes, it's dominance.
Yeah, they don't stand yeah, it's different. It's different over there. But let's talk about your career at Kentucky, and you also played JUCO ball before that. So let's talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, man. This is my story that I tell the kids all the time because it's not where you start, it's how you finish, and I didn't have a scholarship until the end of my senior year. Really didn't have a scholarship, and I chose to go the junior college route. That was on the table for me, so I took that opportunity and I just made the best of it. And I had great people in my life that helped mold who I was as an athlete, and I bought in.
Right.
And everything just happened to work out, and it worked out because I stayed committed to the goals that I set for myself. I stayed committed to myself, and I didn't let other people take me away from the things that I know I wanted to accomplish. So I went to the JUCO route and found that I was a better athlete than I ever thought that I was. I knew I was a good athlete, but that coach brought something else out of me.
Right. Yes, sir.
And by the time I left there, I was All American, All Conference several times, MVP. So you went start winning those awards, man. It boosts your confidence. And then I went to Kentucky. I chose Kentucky over my favorite school of all time was USC. I had a scholarship to go to USC, and I chose to go to Kentucky because I started looking at a few different factors, but playing in the SEC. I'm playing the best competition week in, week out without a question. Peyton Manning.
Yeah.
So many guys that went to the league from the SEC when I played. So when you look at that and then you go to Kentucky, man, we had, back in the early 90s, we had a bubble. Like nobody had a bubble. Mm-hmm. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They just had so much money, and I felt like they really wanted me. So, that was a lot that went into the decision to play.
That's a part of, like, you see a lot of high school athletes now in their recruitment, and you said USC was your favorite school. That was your favorite school, but who wanted you the most? Where would you fit in best at? Like, what's best for you? And you chose Kentucky over California. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like Kentucky, California's here.
It's not even close.
You know what I'm saying?
It's not even close.
How's Lexington for you?
I hated it. I mean, honestly, that was the roughest patch I've ever dealt with in my sports career, period. Like, still to this day, I would say Kentucky was one of those, choices that I was like, I made the right choice, but I didn't have a great time there.
Yeah.
But that's okay.
Because it worked out for you.
Because it worked out, and I didn't let the adversity take me away from, again, what the mission was. So, when I went, I just balled, I went through some adversity at first. I didn't play my junior year hardly. I played special teams. So I was like, my mindset was like, screw everything. I am going to be the best, whatever. So I was one of the best special team players that year. You know what I mean? And I just took it on myself to do more, to work harder, to prove that, hey, I belong. I'm one of the best players here. I know I am. I'm not letting a coach dictate what I ultimately become. And my senior year, man, I put it out there and led the whole conference in solo tackle. So that's what kind of got the attention.
You talked about how you didn't let adversity dictate anything for you, right? You didn't allow adversity to affect you, right? In the NFL, former team you played for, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they had a player this past Sunday threw off his shoulder pads, threw it in the crowd, took off his shirt, threw it in the crowd, took off his glove, then went in the sideline. Antonio Brown, what's your thoughts on that and how he let some adversity that some didn't go his way and the way you react? What's your thoughts on that?
Well, I think Antonio Brown is dealing with more than football-related issues. And once again, I go back to kids today and the mental, not taking these hits early on, 5-6 years old. I feel like Antonio Brown is dealing with something much deeper than football. And I think that's more of what it's about than anything else. I mean, they knew he was a volatile guy from the beginning, but I thought that with Tom Brady and a lot of those guys, they would be able to, keep him in check. But when you have mental health issues, it doesn't matter who's around you. It doesn't matter. One day you can be up, the next day you can be at your lowest low. So I definitely think they need to get him help. And people, you can criticize what he did, but I really believe something deeper is going on with him.
Something's going on upstairs.
You just don't do that.
Yeah, I don't think high school athletes, not to that extreme. You may see them do it in practice or something like that. Yeah. But you're on a national stage in the NFL. You can't do that as an NFL player. You cannot do that. But we mentioned you play in the NFL and you play for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You also play for the San Diego Chargers. Anybody else that I'm missing?
Seattle Seahawks.
So tell us a little bit about your NFL experience and everything.
Man, the NFL, the one thing that I learned really early, so Herm Edwards was my defensive back coach. Man, Lovie Smith was his linebackers coach. Monty Kiffin was the defensive coordinator. Tony Dungy was the head coach. So, I mean, honestly, we just had a all-star roster of coaches. And the first thing that Herm told us was the NFL stands for not for long. Yep. And, when you're young, you don't really think about that. You don't really equate all of that. The NFL is a business. I didn't realize how much college was a business when I played, of course. You learn these things after the fact, but the NFL is a business. I didn't enjoy it. I mean, it was a huge accomplishment, and I'm proud of myself for withstanding all of the things that I had to go through to get there. But at the end of the day, it's a business, and if you don't go into it with the mindset that I'm a business and I'm getting into this partnership with the NFL, it could be rough because every day you can lose your job. Yeah. And the one thing when I was in Tampa, my second year, I wasn't a corner. I was a safety. I've always played safety. And so they made me a corner, which I wasn't a corner. And the second year, Rondé Barber was drafted. Some other guys were drafted. So again, when you're a lower round draft pick guy, you have to prove yourself over and over and over again. And it's politics. Yep. So they're going to take Rondé over you, even if you're better. Like, I beat Rondé Barber. Like, he's going to be a Hall of Famer.
Right.
But I beat him out my year, and I forced them to keep more corners than they wanted to keep. And saying that, later on, I got caught up in politics because at the end of the day, they want to see what their 3rd round draft pick can do, not their 7th round from a year ago. Mm-hmm. So it's politics. And I always try to stress for kids, if you want to make it, hey, more power to you. Go and set yourself up. But understand, it's a business.
All right, you mentioned you played for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That's a team at the top of the NFC, one of the top teams in the NFL and in the NFC. Is that your pick to win it all this year? Who you rolling with?
Man, this is bad, but I like Aaron Rodgers.
Ooh.
And Aaron Rodgers, that was the same division when I played the Green Bay Packers. I like Aaron Rodgers. I just think as a quarterback, when you're a fan, right, and you look at the quarterback position, I love Brady, man. I mean, I wasn't a Brady fan, but you got to respect what he's done. He's done what no one else has ever been able to do. So much respect. He's the GOAT. But Aaron Rodgers, just for me, when I look at the quarterback position, he does things that not a lot of people can do. And I don't know if everybody really is aware of how talented this guy is.
He's like super smooth, like the way he delivers the ball in tight spaces is unbelievable. He got the best receiver in the game, Devontae Adams. That helped out.
No doubt.
Man, I see. So you go in Green Bay. It's a team out there. My favorite team. If they would have won yesterday, I would have put up a debate for you. But I'm gonna have to see.
You gotta ride with your boys no
matter
what.
Man, listen, my
you
motto.
Ride with your boys no matter what.
My motto: smile and keep the faith. David be getting on me about that. I'm still smiling and I'm keeping the faith, but it ain't in them. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna have to. I really wish the Cowboys would figure it out. We're gonna talk about them later in that game, but I like your pick with Green Bay. But let's talk about the Cowboys. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it right now. We watched that game yesterday. Them versus Arizona. What we said before the game.
They don't see the urgency in the game. You have a team that has lost 3 in a row, so they're gonna come out and they're gonna try to execute. They have to end this slide. So Dallas knew firsthand what you're dealing with.
Yep.
You have to be consistent, man. They won't win because they're just not consistent on a basis. Every week, you never know what you're going to get.
It's Kyler Murray. We're not playing Taylor Heineke. We're not playing against Mike Glennon. We're not playing against these other quarterbacks that we done whooped up on, right? Yep. It's Kyler Murray. It's a good offense without DeAndre Hopkins. That's still a powerful offense. Cliff Kingsbury running that offense. That's still a good team. Defensively, they're outstanding. They got some ballers over there. I knew what it was, man. It's a game.
Dallas was off.
You know what I'm saying?
The defense didn't look the same.
Offense didn't put up points like they did last week against Washington. You know what I'm saying?
That's a whole different offense. You know what you're getting out of that offense, but they don't run the ball that much.
They don't. It's
so
not effective.
you already know firsthand, okay, they don't have a strong running game. So what are they relying on? They're relying on the quarterback to make plays, extend plays. So I just think the inconsistency, and then Dallas had a chance to go down and win the game, and Dak fumbles.
Yep.
Inconsistent. There's no culture there.
There is honestly not. I think Jerry Jones, what he's doing, he's all about the limelight, the spotlight. I want it to be on me and the Cowboys. We're America's team and all that, but there's no culture there. There's no culture with this team. And you said at the end of the game they had a chance to win the game, but at the beginning, special teams is a big part of the game. You got Greg Zuerlein on your fantasy team. He missed a kick, a field goal.
Yep.
We lost by 3. And then our coaching, Mike McCarthy. There's so many factors that was the reason why the Cowboys lost this game. But Mike McCarthy, you burn a timeout before the 2-minute warning after the Cardinals just got a first down. Don't make sense. Cardinals go and fumble. Now you don't have a timeout. You don't have no more timeouts after 2-minute warning, and then you can't challenge it. You can't challenge it. The dude was still up. You can't challenge it. You're going to have to lose the game. But throughout the whole game, the Cowboys do things that penalties, whatever the case may be. They do things that's not winning football.
There's no urgency. There's no culture. They're just a bunch of professional athletes out playing. I can go back when I played with Tampa. That first year, we didn't really win much, but it was a culture change. So the next following year is when Dungy and the organization decided to change the whole dynamic. They changed the uniforms. They didn't want to be associated with the losing, the orange sickle uniforms, right? So it's a cultural switch. And that's, I always talk to you guys about the mindset, right? Yep. When you make that switch, you got to leave all of that negative in the past and start over and create a culture to where now there's accountability, everybody's going to be responsible for this, that, and the other. So it's the same thing with us doing Mamba. Like, we have a bunch of high school athletes that all they care about is playing 7-on-7, right? We have to figure out how do we get them in thinking that they're going to just play 7-on-7, but they're coming in to learn, and we're establishing a culture. So even in the pros, it's the same thing. The teams that come in, they have a culture, they have that leadership, and people buy in, the players buy into it, you have success. Right. Bill Belichick, he's been doing it for a long time because he established a culture. You can look at every team that's won a lot of games. It's a culture. It's a culture.
It's more than what's in between those white lines.
Definitely.
It's way more.
Yeah, if that was the case, think about it. Everybody's at the same level. Like, people don't understand. At the pro level, it's more mental. It's physical, of course, but it's so much more mental. The guys that can process information quick, the guys that study, those are the guys that are Hall of Famers. It's amazing. When I played, I didn't realize these things, but then when you look back,
I wish I knew what I knew now.
Yeah.
When I was playing high school ball, even when I was at Lamar my freshman year, I wish I knew what I knew now. It's a lot of mental.
It's a lot of mental.
I wasn't checked in mentally at Lamar. In high school, I was probably my senior year. I was better at it. My junior year and underneath, I worked hard. I did the right things.
You did the things everybody else was doing.
Right. It was required, but I had an extra gear that I could kick it to.
Yeah.
And I could have checked in better mentally.
Yeah.
So you're 100% right about that. We got a Monday night game tonight. Steelers Browns. Is it Big Ben's last game at Heinz Field?
I think so. It's time. That's the hardest thing. I think I was talking to you guys about this yesterday. The hardest thing for an athlete is to shut it down because he doesn't want to give, the fact that I can't do what I used to do is the hardest thing for an athlete. Like I told you, I used to go play basketball. And my mindset was always attack mode. I'm going to outdo work, whatever, right? Yeah. And then when your body tells you, you can't do that anymore.
It's kind of flipped like with R. Kelly.
It's like, wow.
My mind's telling me no, but it's the other way around.
Yes.
But my body.
my body's definitely saying no. Yeah, so I think for Big Ben, he stretched it out a little bit longer. I don't really think Big Ben has always been the guy like a Brady. Brady's going to take care of his nutrition. He's going to take care of his workouts. He's going to do everything possible to make sure that he's that guy.
Multiple times Ben came to training camp out of
overweight,
shape. Out of shape, everything. So, yeah, you're definitely right about that. Now, let's go to the other side, though. On the other end, there's a quarterback, Baker Mayfield. I say he's not that guy. Is he that guy to you?
He's definitely, I think he's a guy. He's not the guy. That's pretty evident. Whenever I work with
number one pick,
it doesn't matter. The NFL is entertainment. The NFL is about entertainment. Every year before the draft, they make you feel so good about these next group of guys. Half of them won't pan out. It's the same thing every year. They market.
Yep.
They market. They make you watch the draft, and you're excited, and then boop, nothing happens. That's just the way it is. It's a marketing. It ain't nothing about football.
Right.
So Baker Mayfield is a guy. Like he's probably above average talent, but mentally
that ain't gonna win you nothing.
So this is one thing I always talk when I work with quarterbacks. Right. You're the head of the snake. If you chop the tail off, what happens?
Still going.
Still going.
Right.
If you chop the head off, Now the entire body is done, right?
Yeah.
The quarterback position is the head of the snake. Nothing happens without that head. The venom, nothing, right?
Shut down. Yeah.
So Baker's not that guy. He makes too many mistakes. When you have a quarterback that's been in the league and has been starting 3-4 years, and he still makes the same mistakes, throws the same stupid picks.
You are who you are.
You are who you are. You're just not gonna be that guy. And the NFL, the crazy thing, they know it, but the business of it, they don't want to be wrong.
So let's talk about that. The business side of it. Do the Cleveland Browns bring them back to a contract extension or whatever?
Nah,
you don't think so?
Nah. They'll go on and try to find another guy.
I have to agree with you.
I mean, if you look at the history of the Cleveland Browns, and we keep going back to this mindset and leadership, right? Look at organizations who don't win. They hadn't won in a long time. It's the same thing. Yep. It's the leadership. It all starts from the top. If you don't have the right leadership for your business, you won't have a successful business.
Yes, sir. So, your prediction for that game? Who you got? Monday night game. We do it on here. We do it on the Cam Davis podcast.
Where they playing at?
In Heinz Field, Pittsburgh.
So I'm gonna give it to Pittsburgh just because they're playing at home. But other than that, I mean, I really don't. Pittsburgh, I love the culture of the Pittsburgh Steelers. They have culture. I think they went with Ben too long. I think if they'd have brought a new, fresh quarterback in there with all of the people that they have on board, they would have been better. Ben still makes the same dumb mistakes, and it's mental mistakes, right?
Yeah. He's a check down Charlie, but they don't have a backup playing that quarterback right now.
That's the problem.
That's a problem right there. But I don't know where they'll go. If it's the draft, I don't like the draft of this quarterback class with this draft. I don't know their backup plan. Aaron Rodgers, maybe. You don't think so?
I really believe I can see Aaron Rodgers back on the West Coast. But you never know.
Green Bay?
I would like to see. I know the Rams got Matthew Stafford, and then the Chargers have a young, nice quarterback. But I don't know. It's because I could see him if they didn't have Trey Lance in San Francisco. I could definitely see. But I would get rid of a Trey Lance for an Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Because honestly, the 49ers are set and built to win right now.
Right now.
And, my ex-former teammate is John Lynch. And John Lynch is going to do whatever is required to win. So you think about a Aaron Rodgers in San Francisco with Samuel,
Kittle.
And
guess who might come with him? Devontae Adams. Oh,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, keep him out the NFC for me.
John Lynch would do whatever is required to win. And I think the roster is kind of built now to win now.
That's scary. You just said that. That's scary.
That would be nasty. I would get rid of the young quarterback. Aaron Rodgers has about 4 to 5 good years. I think he can, because he's cerebral. So he plays from the neck up.
Yeah, he's gonna play smart.
He's gonna play smart.
He's not gonna run. You know what I'm saying? He's protected in the pocket. They got a nice old line there in Sanford. Ooh, you said something. That's pretty scary there.
Yeah,
that's pretty scary. Now let's go. Let's talk about this one. There's another quarterback in some little situations. Russell Wilson. Where do you think he gonna go?
That's a difficult one. I don't know. It's a lot of stops for somebody who, Russell's caliber of quarterback, smart, is going to do whatever is required to win. The leadership. Who do you think?
I hate that it's in the NFC, but the Saints. I
was thinking the Saints just because I can see the Saints.
Yeah.
I can see the Saints. I was thinking that.
Yeah.
But I could definitely see that. At the end of the day, I know we're fans, but I look at football differently.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of any team. But I just want to see good football, and I know it's business moves. So you think of Russell Wilson comes to the Saints after a Drew, same caliber quarterback. It's going to put butts in the seats. It's going to sell jerseys.
Sean Payton,
you know,
offensive mind. You know
offensive mind. You got a quarterback that can really deliver. He's a leader. People are going to want to come there. Like, it's a business decision.
Yep.
You know, people have to stop making decisions based on emotion and look at what's best for this business to run efficiently, and that's it. Bringing somebody like him in is it.
Okay. All right, so now it's the new year, 2022, man. We've been through so much, right? We've been through so much, but yet here we are still today.
Still here.
Man, I reached out to you. I told the people that you do motivation. You wanted to talk about a successful mindset, right? So let's tell the people, let's encourage the people, let's give them something and tell them what it takes to have a successful mindset.
At the end of the day, it's being intentional in that mindset. What is it that you want to accomplish? The amazing thing about the mind, and I told you guys the same thing, the incredible thing about your mind is once you tell yourself, this is what I want to do, this is what I want to accomplish, and you write those things down and you're able to see it on a daily basis, your brain goes into a mode of, I have to figure out how to achieve that goal or that mission. So if you want to make $100,000, $200,000, write it down, see it every day. Your brain is going to go into a mode of, okay, how do I figure out how to achieve those things? That's about life, right? Your mindset is dictated by what you think and how you move. So I think when people want to be successful, you got to, first of all, listen to success. I listen to a podcast every day. I listen to successful people every day because they pour different ideas, different thoughts into me, and I'm able to do the same for other people. And I learned a long time ago, whatever it is that you think, that's what will happen to you in your life. So if you always that person that thinks negatively, negative things are going to happen to you because you're bringing those things into your life. Think positive, write things down, be around positive people, because it's amazing how the way that you think and the information that you're inputting into your mind takes effect into your physical being. And I would tell anybody, I tell everybody, I write everything down, and I was told this a long time ago. I remember one of my friends, this is a true story, this is when I learned that the mindset is everything. So I think I hadn't scored a touchdown. I was a freshman or something like that, and I hadn't scored a touchdown. And my boy, he was just like, at halftime, he was like, "Hey, just pray to God, and it'll happen." And I was like, "Okay." So it's crazy that I did it, right? I was like, "Okay, I want to score a touchdown," right? So we get back in half. I think I was a freshman, as a matter of fact. So we get back from half, and true enough, I ended up scoring, right? And I was like, dang, that really actually worked. So it was new for me to have that thought process, but I started doing it over and over and over again. And this is the craziest thing. Everything I've ever thought for myself has come true. Everything. It didn't always happen the time that I thought it was supposed to happen. But everything that I've ever, 10 years ago, I said, I want to write a book. I just wanted to write a book, right? Just write something. Best-selling author. 4 times now, right? I wanted, remember my first gym. I used to go across the street, and I saw this other gym, and I would peek in the window, and I called one day, and it was too expensive. And I was like, man, I would love. So then, that gym started. I would have people flowing out the gym because I got too many people in there, and then I called the people. They went under new management, and I called them, went over, looked at it, boom. Before you know it, I'm in the gym that I've been looking in the window for. You manifest that stuff.
It holds power.
Your mind, man. In one of my books, I told you guys to read this. Think and Grow Rich. You may have to read it 1 to 2 times to figure out
may not resonate that first time.
It may not resonate, but when you think about the title, think and grow rich.
Yes, sir.
So I would tell anybody, make sure that your mindset is geared and prepared for you to be successful. Your thoughts are very powerful, and the things that you think will either uplift you or bring you down. So that would be my motivational for anybody, is just beware of what's going on in here.
I appreciate that, man. Think positive, you'll do positive. Think negative,
All the
probably
time.
gonna do negative, right?
Oh, no doubt.
So it held so much power, man. But Coach Reggie, man, I appreciate you for joining me here on the Cam Davis podcast, man. Much love, many blessings. Want to encourage y'all to keep on keeping on, and of course, smile and keep the faith. We'll see y'all next week. Happy New Year. Appreciate it, man. Yes, sir. Appreciate it.